The Imperial starship Velkrath drifted like a corpse through the debris field of the Andromeda outpost. John wiped grease from his hands as he surveyed the wreckage through his helmet's display. Beside him, Elsa adjusted her scanner, her breath fogging inside her suit. "Another Emperor Zithrak special," she muttered. "Strip it, abandon it, leave the crew to die." John nodded grimly. The Zithrakian Empire had a reputation for cruelty that spanned 3 star systems. When they were done with a vessel, nothing living remained, or so the stories went. He and Elsa were salvage mechanics, humans who made their living picking through the bones of dead ships. It wasn't glamorous work, but it paid. They breached the airlock with practiced efficiency. Inside, the ship was a tomb. Emergency lights flickered weakly, casting long shadows down corridors lined with frozen corpses. Elsa's scanner beeped rhythmically as they moved deeper into the vessel. "Power core's intact," John said, checking his readouts. "If we can extract it, we're looking at 6 months' pay." "Wait!" Elsa stopped suddenly, her scanner emitting a different tone. "I'm reading a life sign." John's hand moved instinctively to the plasma cutter at his belt. "Impossible. This ship's been dead for 3 years." "I know what I'm reading, John. It's faint, but it's there. Lower deck, Section 7. They descended through the ship's skeletal infrastructure, past frozen corridors and shattered bulkheads. The life sign grew stronger with each step. Finally, they reached a sealed door marked with Zithrakian script, symbols that Elsa's translator rendered as Imperial Holding Cell. John forced the mechanism with a crowbar, and the door groaned open. The smell hit them first, even through their suits' filters, stale air, waste, and something else. Something alive. In the corner of the cell, illuminated by their helmet lamps, was a creature unlike anything John had seen. It resembled a cat, but stood nearly 4 feet tall, with iridescent fur that shifted between silver and blue. Its eyes were enormous and luminous, watching them with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. "By all the stars," Elsa whispered. The creature, clearly female, was emaciated, her ribs visible beneath her matted fur, but what caught John's attention was her swollen belly. She was pregnant, heavily so. "How is she alive?" John asked, kneeling slowly to appear less threatening. Elsa scanned the cell. "Emergency stasis field. Must have activated automatically when the ship lost main power. It kept her in partial suspended animation, enough to survive but not enough to prevent." She gestured to the creature's condition. The alien cat made a sound, something between a purr and a whimper. Her eyes locked onto John's, and in that moment, he understood. She wasn't just surviving, she was enduring, waiting, hoping against all logic that someone would come. Years. She'd been here for years. "We're taking her," John said. "John, we don't know." "We're taking her, Elsa. That's final." Elsa sighed but nodded. She'd known John long enough to recognize that tone. Besides, she agreed with him. Humanity had clawed its way up from a single planet to become the galaxy's most prolific mechanics and engineers, not through cruelty, but through stubbornness and an irritating tendency to help things that needed helping. Getting the alien cat to their shuttle was delicate work. She was too weak to walk far, so John fashioned a makeshift stretcher from bulkhead panels. The creature watched them throughout, never hostile, always cautious. When John offered her water from his emergency pack, she drank desperately, her rough tongue lapping at the container. Back on their ship, the Salvage Queen, Elsa set up a quarantine area in the cargo bay. John jury-rigged a medical scanner from spare parts, one of those peculiarly human talents that baffled other species. Within an hour, they had a basic understanding of the alien's physiology. "She's a Felixian," Elsa said, cross-referencing the data. "They were one of the first species the Zithrakian Empire conquered. Most were enslaved or—" She didn't finish. She didn't need to. "How long until she delivers?" John asked. "Days." maybe hours. Her body's been holding off labor, probably due to stress and malnutrition. John spent the next 2 days doing what humans did best, improvising. He fabricated a birthing area using thermal blankets and medical supplies meant for humans. He researched Phylixian biology using every database he could access. When the alien, whom Elsa had started calling Luna, went into labor, it was John who stayed with her through the night. "You can do this," he murmured, his hand gently stroking her head. Luna's luminous eyes fixed on him, trusting despite years of betrayal. The birth was difficult. Luna's body was weak, and twice John thought they might lose her. But humans were stubborn creatures, and so, apparently, were Phylixians. As dawn broke over the nearby asteroid field, 3 tiny kittens lay nestled against Luna's belly, mewing softly. Elsa watched from the doorway, wiping her eyes. "We should report this to the Galactic Council." "We will," John agreed, still kneeling beside Luna. "But first, we make sure they're healthy. All of them." Luna looked up at him, and for the first time in years, she purred. A real purr, full of contentment and gratitude. Her paw reached out, gently touching John's hand. In that moment, John understood what the other species often missed about humanity. They weren't the strongest or the smartest. They didn't have the best weapons or the fastest ships. But they had something that empires built on cruelty could never understand: the inability to walk past suffering without trying to fix it. 3 months later, the Galactic Council formally charged Emperor Zithrak with crimes against sapient species. The key evidence came from a human mechanic's testimony and the survival of a Phylixian mother and her kittens, a survival that should have been impossible. Luna and her children became ambassadors for the Phylixian restoration movement. And John? He went back to salvaging ships with Elsa because someone had to keep doing the work. But now, in his quarters, a hologram of Luna and her growing kittens reminded him why humanity had earned its place among the stars. Not through conquest, through compassion. That was the human way. The end.